Hey there, chaps! So today we are going to be hatching two divine dragons. It's not very often we get to hatch divines because they are limited time dragons, but today we got two of them from the Heaven and Hades event to hatch. So first of all, we are going to start off with a CHRONO Hades dragon that has one of the weirdest designs of a dragon that I think I have ever seen. I don't know what this Dr. Robotnik-esque egg at the beginning here is about, but CHRONO Hades is a weird one, and we get plus 400 to our collector score for this dragon. So the CHRONO Hades dragon apparently rules the underworld of the distant future, holding the secrets of its power in its strange circuit-like markings. Or perhaps in the future, they're just fashionable. Perhaps. That's a good point. We don't know. Maybe that's the style in the future times, but the CHRONO Hades dragon, he's not quite as good as, say, a Freya or a Hathor dragon. He's definitely more of a defensive dragon. What is it? Energy and wind? He's a very weird dragon overall. Would you put him in your team if he is the only divine dragon that you have, or one of only a couple of divines? Maybe. It's just, you know, divines are very difficult to enchant, and the plus side to divine dragons is the fact that they don't have temples that you have to unlock for their divine element. You don't have to do it for their other elements anyway, though. But look at this little baby! He has, like, electrical pulses surging through his entire body, which does kind of creep me out a little bit. But regardless, I like his baby form, and, you know, everyone calls him the AirPod dragon. Yes, his head looks like it's made of AirPods, I know. You don't need to tell me. I am very aware that he looks like the AirPod dragon. Just look at this guy. It's such a weird dragon overall, but, you know, definitely a dragon that I think anyone that is really, really into tech or something like that, maybe you've got a thing for him. But overall, he was the main prize out of the Heaven and Hades event, and the harder dragon to get a hold of, because you needed to open up every single chest to get a hold of him. I will not be using him on my main team. But then the second divine that we have is actually a duplicate divine for me, because this is the Hermes dragon's egg. And as you may know, I already have a Hermes dragon on my main team. So he's one of my main 3 dragons, and he's a divine wind and plant dragon. And the Hermes dragon is basically a slightly worse version of the Freya dragon, but he's still an extremely useful dragon overall. He's got high damage, or relatively high damage, and, you know, plant in general is a really, really good element to have. And, you know, if you need some defensive abilities, then his wind does come in handy as well. So he's just quite a versatile dragon overall. I would say pairing him with the CHRONO Hades dragon may not be the best combination in the world, but if they're the only 2 divines that you manage to get a hold of, you would probably do well to use them. Like, say you've got no other divine in the game, these 2 really are not all that bad. And so before we take these 2 into a fight, very quickly, I am going to go ahead and pop... Who is it? There is a collection that we want to finish. We want to finish this collection so that we can get the Verdrake dragon as a reward. So I am going to pop my Snowpelt dragon into the hatchery, wherever he may be. Here he is. Here's that cute little epic right there. I'm more interested in him for his uses in the collection rather than him as a dragon, but there we go. We need to wait 23 hours and he will be hatched, but we will get a new dragon out of it at the end. And also I'm going to quickly do a boss challenge fight while we are here. Just because, you know, you need to be on it with the boss challenge. They are quite strict on their timings for the boss challenge events, and I really want to get a hold of the costume dragon as soon as I can. So there we go, there is that fight done, skis. So now, looks like the servers are having a little bit of a hiccup at the moment because the new update just came out not long ago. But let's take on a roughly level 12 fight attack, and let's find those 2 divines that we just finished hatching. So there we go. We have him, we have Vision, the Hermes dragon, and how about we pop in a legendary? Sure, we'll pop in Star as well. So, at level 1, Divine Dragons and Legendaries are actually super duper weak, because they get a lot stronger as you unlock the rest of their elements. So if you are a relatively low level, or say a level 40-ish player, just be aware that even if you manage to get a Divine or a few Legendaries, when you first get them, they're actually not going to be very good, because they only have one element unlocked. You do have to level them up, and then you can unlock their second element using gold, and then their third element you can only unlock using gems, and it is 99 gems to unlock their third element. So, they may not be the easiest dragons in the game to, you know, use, get a hold of, and things like that. But when you manage to fully upgrade them to their level 6 abilities, and just taking their base stats into account, Divines and Legendaries are better than any epic in the game. Even the worst Legendaries in the game are better than the epics in DML, because that's just the way that it works out because of base stats. But at the end of the day, Divines only come every so often, so if you don't have any of them, and say you didn't manage to get them from the previous event, don't feel too bad. I'm sure that if you keep, you know, playing the game, getting used to the game and some of its mechanics, I'm sure eventually there will be another Divine event that comes out, and I'm sure you'll get the dragons out of it then. But always be aware that you are probably going to be looking to try and get as many Divines as you can, and, you know, level them up and everything like that, just as soon as you can, basically. Like, I've got quite a few Divines on this account now. I do have a few extras on my secondary account that I don't have on this one as well. But the Divines, such as Loki, for example, are just so overpowered. It is unreal. The only reason I don't use Loki on my main team is because the Autumn Dragon has the same elements as him, but the Autumn Dragon is worse than this Divine Loki Dragon, for example. So it's just, you've got to be aware that there are better dragons out there. Like, even if you see me using my level 100 fully enchanted dragon, that doesn't mean that it's necessarily the best dragon in the game. There are lots and lots of different dragons out there. And I'm sure we'll get lots and lots and lots of new Divines, Legendaries, Epics over time. But the idea is to just do as many events as you can, so that you can get as many options for team members as you can. Because there's no point not participating in the events and just not bothering, and then realizing, like, 6 months later, oh, you know what would have been really good? Having that Divine that I never bothered to log in to get. And even if you are a newish player, it's still possible for you to finish the Divine events. Like this Divine event that we just had in particular, it was actually pretty easy, all things considered, if you could clear out the final level pools of items. But it's just about preparing for those events. I've always said it before, like, before you actually start an event, make sure your breeding den is free, make sure you don't have long food timers that are gonna, you know, ruin the event for you. Don't try and breed legendaries if you can help it. It's just all of these little things put together. I say they're little, but if you do them during event times, you completely destroy your chances of finishing off events. Except if it's something like a boss challenge event, because boss challenge events, you can do literally anything else that you want in-game, and it makes absolutely no difference at all to the event. And that's sort of a good thing. It means that with boss challenges, you can just do them whenever you want. And you can do whatever you want in the rest of the game as well. So, those sorts of events are good. But non-boss challenge events, like castle events, Dragon's Delight events, you need to be careful with what you're doing. And plus, you know, sometimes your luck may be the difference between whether you get the Hermes dragon or not. For example, in the last event, like, say you were someone that was on the last couple of resets and you only had enough to open up one more chest. Some people managed to get the Hermes in that chest, some people didn't. You know, it sucks if that was you, but next time, aim for 100% chest completion. aim for it. Even if you don't make it, at least you can try and say, look, I'm going to try my best to get every single dragon out of this event, rather than being lazy and just not logging in when I could be logging in. I'm just going to log in for a minute, get the stuff that I need. I didn't realise that the farms got updated. I don't like this. This scares me. But let's pop it in anyway. What the heck? They didn't tell us that the farms had been changed. I'm freaked out a little bit now. What the hecko? What the hecko gecko? But anyway, for now, I am going to leave it there. I still have the breeding guide video on that to do, but, you know, I'm going to be trying to breed that trickster dragon as fast as I can. Even though the chances of breeding him are not very high, we need him for the chain breeding event. But I just want the trickster. I just want the dragon. I don't even care about the eagle dragon. I don't have it yet, but I don't care about it enough. Just give me the trickster and I'll be a happy girl. So, you know, good luck to you with all of your breeding. Good luck to me as well, because I want it as well. And don't forget that you can get the ace dragon out of Otto's Lotto right now. Do not forget. Do not forget. So for now, thank you for joining me. And until next time, I shall see you then.